Hey, how's it going?
Welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We've got Justin Benson with us today. And we've got Scott. And
Josh.
And whoever I am. We're excited to be doing this for us, for Learning Solutions. I got to get the pregame jitters out, man. This is insane. This has been months leading up to this. It's been quite the ride so far. And it's just, I can't believe this. It's finally game day. We're here. I don't know.
Yeah, you put a lot of work into this.
Yeah.
You put a lot of work into it.
So Justin, why don't you explain to everyone who you are and what you do with Learning Solutions and kind of what you guys do down there?
Yeah, my name is Justin Benson. I'm the clinical director and speech therapist at Learning Solutions in Vernal, Utah. And Vernal Learning Solutions was created by Sarah Foster. She's got a kid on the spectrum and retired from the military and wanted to move back to Vernal. She actually grew up in Vernal and wanted to move back, but was thinking there are no services for my kids. And when she thought about that, she's like, well, yeah, there's no services for my kids, so let's get something going. And so she contacted the local pediatrician, and the pediatrician got her hooked up with me and a bunch of other people in the community, and we've been growing Learning Solutions for just over a year now.
Yeah.
Doing speech therapy, occupational therapy, ABA therapy, and doing diagnostics for kids who are suspect to have autism.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges, especially when someone who gets a kid who they suspect needs help or has issues, and like going through the diagnostic process and then actually integrating into your program? Like, we want to talk about why this is important, because it eliminates a lot of those speed bumps that people get into.
Right, yeah. One of the major speed bumps for parents and families who have kids that they suspect have autism, the first major hurdle to go through is the wait list. A lot of the clinics out in Utah, and I believe across the country in general, have wait lists that are anywhere from 8 months to a year. And it just takes a long time for these kids to get evaluated, diagnosed, and to get the services that they need, because a lot of the services that are provided, insurance won't cover unless they have a diagnosis. And so that's the first hurdle that Learning Solutions has been able to eliminate for kids in Vernal, Utah. And we're able to provide a diagnosis for these kids a lot sooner than they could anywhere else. And then the biggest hurdle after that is going to be the insurance. A lot of the private insurances have high deductible plans that are hard to meet for these families. And so what Josh is doing is helping alleviate that hurdle for these families, that financial burden for these families, which is really great.
Yeah, and that truly is the first step. We've been saying it for a couple weeks now. It's 31 kids on that list that we're trying to take care of, and so that's what this auction's going for. I appreciate the chat so far. Yes, it is an awesome charity. Thank you, Orbital Albert. And Orbital Albert's one of our donors. He gave us some coffee. I don't know if
Alpaca.
Yeah, Alpaca coffee. So if you want that sweet Canadian coffee, go ahead and start bidding on that as well. But this is an auction near and dear to my heart. Justin actually was helping with my child through a program called Primetime for Kids, which I think is kind of exclusive to the Basin. I'm not for sure. But you would point out to us very early on that he might have some autistic traits. And we were like, there's no way. He's only 18 months old. Like, how do you know this? Mm-hmm. And so because of your help and us walking through that, it was a very stressful year. But at the end of that process, once we got into Learning Solutions, into these therapies that can help Grayson excel, I mean, it's insane to see that he is totally 180 from who he was.
Right. Yeah, he really has come a long ways. When I was seeing him with Primetime for Kids, and that is exclusive to the Uinta Basin. They covered Uinta and Daggett counties. But when I was seeing him there, he would engage with us and play with us sometimes, and then sometimes we were working hard to play with that kid. But now, after he's been getting continued therapies beyond early intervention, he is saying hi to people in the clinic. He's talking. He's super social.
Oh yeah.
And so it's just fun to see the progress that he's made.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's wonderful. I mean, it's funny because like we live with the kid, and you guys were picking up on stuff more in the first couple weeks than we had for the first 3 years of his life. It was like, oh yeah, if he's having an issue, just get some water, get a spray bottle. He loves spraying stuff. And I'm like, why did we never think of that? We knew that he loves spray bottles, she'd steal my wife's hairspray bottle and run around the house spraying everyone with it, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just funny stuff like that. It's just like, I think as parents, you're so close to the picture, right? You don't see the grand scheme of everything. And so it takes people on the outside that know what they're doing to help with their help with the child.
Mm-hmm.
And with your guys' services, I hope that what you guys are doing can be done in other places across the country as well, because you're a whole service facility under one roof. And that's, they don't have that out in Salt Lake, right? Like that's...
I've never had to experience the system,
Sure.
but it is a routine thing in healthcare. The challenges people have when the first question is diagnosis, is figuring out that they have a suspicion there's a problem or some issue that needs to be resolved, and then they have to figure out, okay, I think something's wrong, but I need to find the person who can diagnose it, and then at the same time, I need to find the person who can help. And another hurdle is, okay, and how do you pay for all those 3 different steps?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, like Justin said, the biggest hurdle is just the diagnosis. Once they can get that under their belts, insurance kicks in. It's been wonderful once our insurance kicked in, because it alleviated a lot of that cost. And as a parent, you don't want to be putting that rock in the hard spot, right? Like, you don't want to stare at your child and say, I don't want you to have these services, but there's no way we can afford it.
Right.
And a lot of insurances are usually pretty good to help as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very fortunate with my insurance, but let's get these kids taken care of. We got plenty of great items. I think that playfield's just right behind us somewhere.
It's right there.
Oh, I got to grab this. You've got to see this playfield. This thing is awesome.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. If you're an Attack from Mars fan, and if you want to just have an alternative package, it looks amazing. And you could even do a swap on it if you have it, or you could put it as a wall piece.
Oh yeah. I think, who is it that does the? Is it Tilt Cycle?
Tilt Cycle does.
Tilt Cycle does an amazing job. You could send this off, have them frame it, do all the lights, and it'll look. This thing is butter smooth. It came right fresh off the line. Looks beautiful. Yeah.
Well, how much is your soul worth? I mean, if you could sell your soul for that black and white, then I mean, we are in negotiations. It is available.
Yes. Do you take souls down there at Learning Solutions? I don't know if that's that's a thing.
Is there sort of a way we can commoditize souls?
But there's some wonderful items. One of the ones that popped up that we put this week is JJP donated a poster signed by Slash himself from Guns N' Roses. I mean, one of the big items that has just been blowing up is the Michael Bay, Steve Jablonsky music sheet from Transformers, right? There's some amazing items, and there's even some small items on there. Some sweet Stern fanny packs. If you want to do a fanny pack, you can.
I think I'm too old for that. I'm not cool. I'm not cool hipster enough.
I think it's a thing now.
Yeah, no, I know it's a thing, but I remember
off.
the first 2 times it was the thing, and so that's the problem. Is as you get older, you just see the cycles keep coming back. You're like, oh, bell bottoms in. Oh no, they're out.
Yeah.
Are you the socks and sandals kind of dad yet, though?
Not yet, but you know what? I am to a level of I don't really care.
Right.
And so, like, I am from the socks and sandals generation, though, because in high school, it was either there were these pants that everybody saved up for, Gerbeau pants, and that was huge in Utah. I don't know if it was huge nationwide, but they were huge in Utah. And this is like in the 90s, and they were like $70 pants. I mean, it was crazy. So people saved up for that. So you either looked like a retro 50s rebel without a cause, like hipster, or you looked like a pre-grunge granola where people got Birkenstocks and they had socks. And yeah, it was Birkenstocks and socks, and yeah, that was cool.
To answer Glenn's question, if you want to donate to the Venmo, it's at Learning Solutions Inc. INC, like incorporated. I almost gave my own. I'm like, we better not be giving that out.
No.
If you want to donate to LoserKids, just
this is all going to Learning
Learning
Solutions.
Solutions.
We are here on our own dime to pay for this stuff. So,
Sweet Stern Fannies sounds like a vintage chocolate company.
yeah.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Either that or like a weird compliment. Like, I don't know if you're walking around Stern Pinball saying, "Hey, sweet Stern Fanny's there." You know.
You know what? It's probably as long as it's intended for good, we're good.
Yep. Also, someone did ask, where do you go to bid on the items? 32auctions.com/Flippin the Script. We have it right there.
Yeah.
Under
So
the
if you
chat.
look right there where I'm pointing,
Yes.
so that's the link, and so you'll be able to get on there and you can see what's going on, and it's great because it's just set up that way, and so the money doesn't even come to us. It actually goes through the account and goes right over to Flippin or Learning Solutions.
Well, and it's wonderful too. I looked this morning before we even started the stream. We were saying around $8,500.
Yep, that's what I saw
Holy
recently.
crap.
So
Yeah.
That's insane. It's just people are really getting behind this. Everyone, thank you out there that's participated, whether you donated, whether you're bidding on an item. Thank you so much for everything you guys are
okay,
doing.
I'm gonna pull it up live to see
Live.
exactly what it is. There you go. It's already saved in my favorites.
While he's looking that up, Justin, I gotta ask, what made you decide to go into speech therapy for autism and stuff like that?
Yeah, before I went, well, when I was an undergrad, I was talking to just different people, and they were talking about their kids that had different issues like learning disabilities or anxiety issues or confidence issues and things like that. And I was like, man, I really want to help these kids. In high school, I worked with kids that were special needs. After high school, I worked with adults that had special needs. And I was just really motivated to help these individuals. And my brother, his mother-in-law is a speech therapist. He said, Justin, you should look into this field.
There's a QR scan.
And so I signed up for the intro course at BYU, and they, in that first class, everything that they touched on that speech therapy does was everything that I had experienced the past couple months with parents that I had talked to. I was like, this is the field I got to go into.
Yeah.
This is what I need to do. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
We need more people like you out there,
Yeah.
too. Really, Justin has been fantastic. Pinball nerds are so friggin' generous. Yes, Albert, you are generous, my good sir. There, we got plenty of at Learning Solutions show up in your fundraiser total. I think it will. We might have to update that manually, so we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah, here we'll have you write down what is the Venmo so we can
Okay.
shout it
Yeah.
out occasionally.
Yep.
I tried to scan it, but it just took me right to it.
Right.
It's Learning Solutions, so it's Learning Solutions Inc. So learning. This is exhilarating, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know people are loving it.
This is fully professional.
I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to right now.
Okay.
Because we're on camera. We're a hoot. If you've never hung out with the Loser Kids off screen, you need to come hang out with us. I don't know why you didn't come to Expo, because we're a friggin' hoot.
Yeah, we're amazing.
So, hey George.
George, are we still live?
It looks like he's...
Okay, cool. Oh, perfect.
Oh, okay. Oh, great.
Perfect. Let's get off the mic. Our first guest and hosts are here.
Yeah.
Let's transfer over to
Okay,
the commercial really quick.
Looks like it's going to be Learning Solutions LLC, not Inc.
Be sure you go to Venmo me. Well, we'll figure this out in a second.
Yeah,
but let's go to the commercial and we'll go from there.
Okay, so who's
Sorry to interrupt you on that.
Drew, Rachel, and Josh.
Sorry to interrupt you in the middle of that.
One in 54 children have autism spectrum disorder, and approximately 10% of kids in the public school system have some kind of learning disability that they're not receiving proper care and continuing care for. Most of the time, people who are calling us are in tears or at their wits' end, needing the most help that they can possibly get. With that being said, we created this center specifically to handle what the school systems and the government programs could not continue with. So what we have done is we've created a nonprofit organization that vets applications, and with those applications, we help kids get services on many different levels. We work with local pediatricians and dentists and optometrists, and other people within the community plan to help with the donations of people bringing them here to help with them get basic wellness child checkups, healthcare checkups, back to school checkups, and any additional services that their families just quite frankly can't afford. When we first started, we have 5 kids, and now we have 43 in 8 months. So Learning Solutions has been self-funded up to this point. We have no bank funds. We've had some funds and private investors, give us or loan us money, but we've had no bank funds or anything like that. This has very expensive overhead, extremely expensive overhead. Overwhelming amount of people here that are having their own private insurance through their companies. But unfortunately, the deductibles are anywhere from $4,500 to $17,000 a year, and it repeats every single year. So they're like most low-income, middle-class families that they have jobs and they're working hard. Most of them are dual-income households, but they can't afford their own health care. Just because a child has a different ability doesn't mean that they still cannot communicate. Our kids here get super, super frustrated and cry and yell and have behaviors and whatnot because they cannot communicate, especially if they're nonverbal. So we help them learn how to communicate. Their disability is within their communication. It's not within their intellect. They have no intellectual disability whatsoever. So we use storyboards and icons on laptops and technology that helps these kids finally have a voice. So they can use their icons in their speech language programs, and they'll start telling you what they want, what they need, if they like it, if they don't like it, and that significantly decreases the behaviors that they're having on a regular basis because they can just tell you now what it is they need even though they can't speak to you. So just finding out how their communication can get out of them that's trapped inside of them is one of our major ways of decreasing behavior issues. There is only one pediatric certified occupational therapist in the entire Tri-County area. And they work in many different places for this 40,000 square mile place of living. So how we've been able to overcome that is by outsourcing to these different cities using assessments and through telehealth, and by having just the certified occupational therapist or the manual therapist here. We have those here that we've been training and recruiting from different areas, but it was really hard for us to get multiple occupational therapists in. So we recruit them through telehealth. So this is actually a microphone and a camera. It's a 360 camera. And when you turn it on, it can zoom and see the whole entire room. And it's controlled from an app on your phone or by your computer. So our occupational therapist that's in Kentucky can control this camera and the mic of this camera so she can communicate with us, she can hear us, and then she can see anything else that's going on in this room by controlling the up and down arrows from her camera or her application on her computer. And our computer that's over here has a DocuCam, and the DocuCam does a projection that projects on the screen the same as it would be as if somebody was looking over your shoulder at your hands. And our occupational therapists use that to be able to gauge how much dexterity and coordination that you have with writing and other things. Our kiddos, some of the biggest issues that they have are writing and being able to get that communication from their mind out through the end of their pen. Our kids are perfectly imperfect. Yep. My son's on the spectrum. He's 13 years old. He's super, super high functioning. He has about 5 different learning disabilities. He has no intellectual disability at all. He's autistic. His brain fires at incredible rates. He's like genius level, but he cannot communicate from his brain to his hand. And so he was failing miserably in school. His self-esteem was just awful. His self-confidence was awful. He hated school because he was just stuck in a corner because he's mildly tempered and really sweet. he was supposed to repeat third grade for the third time. And I said, this cannot possibly be right. And so just researching and learning about it and getting into it and realizing what kind of specialties were needed to bring this together. Now he uses technology through dictation software to learn. He learned how to read. He's learned how to write using dictation software. He's learned how to use other programs like Excel and things like that to help him out with his math and his math skills. And he's learned how to harness technology as a teenager to get the same results for typewritten essays and mathematics skills as other kids his age. So his disability was just a different ability, and he's used technology to be in the process of catching up on grade level with kids that are 13 years old. So without learning solutions, he would have been in a self-contained classroom, probably repeating third grade for maybe the fifth or sixth time. Yeah, so thank you, Flip the Script, for even just coming and saying, hey, we have this opportunity. We appreciate it so much.
We are starting off the stream. It is fantastic.
Just do it in the shower and color it if you want
my
to.
My brother did that starting at 16, and then he stopped when he got married.
Okay.
I did it once. And I was like, this is awful. This is terrible.
You can usually tell when men color their hair because it's too dark.
So my hair, the darkest brown was too light.
Okay.
But then black is black. So I did black because my brother was like, our hair's too dark for the darkest brown.
We're live.
We're live.
We're talking about
We're
my hair.
We're talking about hair.
This great.
Hello, friends.
So I did black and it looked super weird.
It looks super weird.
And then I was like, I washed it out.
Okay.
Like, never again.
I've had every color of hair, I think, but now I'm pretty like paralegal Rachel, very like, prim and proper. Hello, friends.
I love it.
I'm just happy. I'd rather have it and have it go white.
Still have the hair.
I should be thankful.
Yes. Well, welcome to it. I am Rachel Risto.
I am Drew Bovair.
I'm Josh Sharp.
Oh, we got a great crew here today.
We're hanging out here. It's not at District 82. I feel like every time I see a screen, that's where I am, but it's not. We're at Pinball Expo at Flippin the Script on autism. I'm very excited to be here and be part of the day today.
This is going to be a fun day.
Yes.
Everything about it.
They'll be streaming all day today until I believe 10 o'clock tonight. I hope that everybody goes and takes a look at 32auctions.com/flippinthescript. Take a look at all the really awesome things. I don't know which mic to talk into. I don't know. I hope everybody takes a look at all the really awesome things that are out there that have been donated by manufacturers, donated by different players, just in order to raise $25,000. And I think we're at like 8,700. 8,700 was the
Scott Larson just corrected us.
Why is there no thermometer thing on the screen?
Yeah,
there
we
should
need
be.
that.
We need because it's kind of like a telethon today.
You know what? I want to say that I start each day off with gratitudes. I'm really grateful that Rachel did her homework today because all that stuff.
This is Rachel not prepared?
Yes. Before we started, guys, Rachel's like, well, I don't know what we're going to do. And Josh and I looked at each other and we're like, we got nothing.
I'm
and
texting
she's like,
Scott and Josh, where do I go?
She's like, nothing. And then she comes up here, well, go to this site, do this thing.
Well,
You're fantastic, Rachel. We love Rachel. Rachel's
I love
the
you
best.
too. I love you too.
That's awesome.
So that's your gratitude for today
Yes.
is that I did my homework? Okay.
I am very I'm thankful for you as a person.
Oh, yes.
But,
well, that's good.
I'm thankful you're making us look better.
Oh,
so
no problem. I bring a little polish to the Poor Man's Pinball Network.
You do.
A little bit. Check
out Tribe Multiball on the Poor Man's Pinball Network
for sure.
with Rachel and Tim.
And soon to come out the Ray Show with Raymond Davidson. Yeah, you didn't know that. We'll just drop
like
that.
Its own show? Or
like
just
its own show.
Wow.
So
is this going on the Poor Man's Network?
It is.
Oh.
We recorded just a competitive pinball, talk about the Super Series, and maybe we'll do more down the road. I hope so. Because there's some wonderful people that wrote music and art.
Ray used to do his little podcast.
He did, yeah.
I can't remember
Do or Die.
That's right.
Yeah, Do or Die.
But I do want to, I know we're on the TPN network, but I just want to say,
TPN.
Can I say suck it, TPN?
You can say whatever you want. As long as